have been dealing with this situation for such a long time. You know, I'm so sorry, girl, because that is not who I am.
So a popular influencer by the name of Kaylee ended up getting cheated on by her boyfriend named Jeremy, aka Splash. Some say he cheated while others said he didn't, but regardless, the girl ended up getting pregnant. After giving birth and a few situations that happened, and after a book that Keesha and Jeremy released, she ended up going on social media and allegedly exposing Keesha and Jeremy.
Like, stop playing with me. Play with your mammy, play with your kids, but do not play with me.
And ever since then, there's been everything from cyber stalking, cyber bullying, people going up to Keesha's house, people going to the girl's workplace, calling and harassing family members, people threatening to dox other content creators if they didn't make videos on Keesha.
I was contacted and threatened to be doxxed if I don't make pretty much a video doing and saying what they want me to do.
And a lot of crazy shit. Her YouTube sector has been filled with so much drama, so much lies, so much manipulation that it's just been spiraling out of control.
Somebody really needs to break your neck.
I don't give a f what no bitch on the internet say about my man or me.
So when the f was you gonna say something about a book? And you literally talk shit about kids.
Trespassing on school grounds or facility.
He's gonna be mad at everybody. He's not gonna want to hear your excuses as to why you wanted to keep him away from his sister. He got no pictures, no memories, nothing but him.
But you're such a good mom,
And in this series, we're going to get in through the whole situation and explain everything in a timeline fashion so we can understand the bigger picture. Now, this story has been one of the biggest stories I've ever worked on, and it's been a lot. Like, I've been away from YouTube for a month. So I would appreciate it so much if you guys are to smash that like button and leave a comment in the section saying, I'm glad you're back. Now, before we get into this drama, I have a huge disclaimer. Please do not harass any of the individuals that will be mentioned in this series. Now, some people have apologized for some of the involvement they've had in this drama. So again, do not harass any of these individuals or their children. This series isn't designed to bash or harass any of the people involved in this story. This series is only pointing out the faults of these individuals' actions and to have a better understanding of the situation. Saying that, if any of the people that I mentioned in this video are upset or feel some type of way about what I've said in my videos or the timeline of events, feel free to hit me up on Instagram to send me receipts, proof, or anything. So let's get straight into the drama. For you guys who have no idea who Kaylee is basically a popular influencer in Atlanta, Georgia, America. She basically started doing YouTube content, vlogging, etc. And she also featured her girlfriend at the time also in some of her videos. So I guess she was kind of in the relationship sector, vlogging sector, if that makes sense. After that, she ended up breaking up with her girlfriend. She had another guy, and then she ended up in a relationship with Jeremy. And her channel, from the looks of things, grew even more as a power couple. As you guys know, during these times, couple channels were really popular. It seemed to me that Keesha and Jeremy got a lot of views on their videos when they were together. From there, Jeremy and Keesha end up having kids. It eventually came the Keesha and Jeremy channel and a family channel. So Keesha's channel has really touched a lot of sectors in YouTube. And then after the whole drama, which I'm going to get into with you guys, they end up breaking up for a bit, and it ended up just being a channel for Keesha and her kids. So basically, Keesha went from the relationship couple sector to the mummy sector. Now, Keesha does have a huge past. I have watched some content out there. I've seen a couple of videos, and I will say it is very controversial. And it seems like Keesha seems to be someone that a lot of people talk about in Lipstick Alley. She's got like a whole bunch of people that make reaction videos on her. So for example, she might be a YouTuber that gets 50k views or 20k views, but she is very much talked about and creates a lot of engagement on other platforms. Either it be good or bad, it seems to me that Kaylee is very influential. Okay, so where did all this drama start? Now, Keesha and her boyfriend Jeremy fell pregnant in June 2018. And it was around August when she actually announced to the public that she was pregnant.
I have not been on social media for these last 2 months. It was for personal reasons. Obviously, from the title of the video, you guys see that I am pregnant. I had to make a lot of personal decisions once I found out that I was pregnant.
Now, while she was pregnant, according to the book, she wasn't giving Jeremy affection, attention, and the love that he was used to getting from her. As well as that was depriving him of sex because she was worried about miscarrying the baby, as prior she was pregnant and had a miscarriage.
So devastated from the miscarriage, I kind of checked out. We were so used to a different type of level of love and happiness with our relationship. And I admittedly, when we miscarried, I had one thing on my mind and one thing only was like the grief of miscarrying a child and the heartache of thinking like I could never get pregnant, and you know, the wants of wanting to try again to replace that void I was feeling. Like we both were just actively trying to get pregnant. I'm not at all saying that he was okay. I'm just saying I know what part I played in pushing him away.
So because of all that, hormones, breakouts,
he knew we couldn't have sex anymore. He was asking me every day to still please him in that other kind of way. And I would be like, no, like I'm sick, I'm this, I'm that, I don't want to, da, 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 da. I wouldn't even try. We would go to bed at night, he would be holding me. I'm like, get off me, I'm breaking out. He would try to cuddle me, get off me,
etc. She was basically sticking to herself, focusing on herself, and hoping and stressing that she wouldn't have another miscarriage.
That's what I was doing. I was crying. I was locking myself in the bathroom, locking myself in the room. So I started telling him, I was like, go out. Like, why you can't go out? Go out. And I would tell him every day, go out, please, go out.
Because of all this and other factors involved, he ended up lusting for other women within 10 weeks of their pregnancy.
I contributed to him feeling unloved and unneeded. And like I said, he went to go hang out with Aubrey, which was Ashli's friend, and Ashli was there.
I officially met him at the end of July, where he briefly talked about his situation.
Both of them had a lot of common interests: smoking, partying, drinking, stuff like that. So they kind of just like smoke, chill.
Yes, he told me that he had twins on the way, you know, that he was dealing with his relationship, that he wasn't quite sure what he wanted to do. But for me, I didn't have any other intentions but to be this man's friend. I understood and I respected it because I had my own stuff going on.
I guess she wasn't happy with what she had dealing with her significant other. I don't know. Let me not put words in nobody's mouth, but from what I heard from him, that's what it was. She wasn't happy. She'd be talking about her problems with it was going on, and I guess he just kind of like, okay, well, you know, me and my girl going through something too, and now it's kind of like she done pushed me to a point. It's like da 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 da, and then boom, next thing you know, the worst of the worst happens.
When I was dealing with him, we would talk and just talk about the world, the universe, God. Like we would just talk about literally random things, everything. That's all I wanted. I just wanted someone around that could listen to me, could talk to me. Like, cause when I deal with guys, a lot of times they, you know, they only want one thing. So it was like to add the extra to it. I really wasn't like something like, oh, you know, let me see like what's really going on. Like I was caught up in my feelings. I was blindsided. I was being a big dummy.
Now, since Keesha wasn't doing anything with Jeremy, he ended up confronting her, and after he said that, it prompted Keesha to search the phone records.
Me and Jeremy have Verizon, and I looked at our usage and I saw that number was called, and I typed the number into an app and it popped up that name. I went to his Instagram, typed the name in, her page came up, and then it had like a contact thing where it said message, contact, blah, blah, blah. And that's how I was able to confirm, like, okay, this is definitely the number that he was texting.
And she ended up confronting him, and he told her. He told me he smoked with her and met her through Audrey. At that time, they weren't having sex. I asked why did he call her, and he said to drop off some blank. I told him to not communicate with her, but she was not the only number I found. I found 2 other girls, so that's why I knew something was up. A week later, Keesha's friend Britt, who owns a channel called the Marshall Party of 5, another family channel, was having a bachelorette party. Now, before the bachelorette party that afternoon, not the day after, as Ashli said in her video, she received this message.
Lo and behold, the next day I get a text from her. Now, in the text, she says she's her cousin, not her best friend. But at that time, you know, I didn't really care who she was, what was going on. I just was confused on why someone is contacting me. She's asking if I'm dealing with anybody or dealing with her friend's man. And I just let her know, like, at this point, I don't deal with anyone. I was completely 100% single, and I wasn't looking to jump into anything.
Now, before we move forward, we have to talk about who actually sent these messages. So I ended up looking real deep into this situation after I was listening to one of Paris's live when someone said that
wasn't her who sent those messages, which means she was impersonated.
Now, I had to ask Brit myself, so I did message her and she said, "Hey Martin, I heard and correct, I was not the person who messaged Ashli. It was Keesha. I was informed of it after the fact. Keesha did tell me herself that she messaged her saying that she was a friend of Keesha's, but I don't think she used my name. I think that after everything came out, Ashli assumed I was the friend since I'm the only one who has came forward at the time, and I did see that video and confirmed in the comments that it was not me. So meaning she only knew about this when Ashli's video came out. Now, I asked Keesha and Keesha said that she never messaged her as one of her friends and that she directly came to Ashli. So seeing what Brit told me and what Keesha told me, I'm like, this doesn't make sense. So I sent her the screenshots that I got from Ashli's video, and this is what she said.
But I'm reading these messages that you just sent. I've never seen these before. I don't even know what this is. This doesn't even say Jeremy's name. This could have been a whole nother person. I've never even seen this. Does it say Jeremy somewhere? My cousin Brit. It doesn't say my friend or anything like that. I don't even know what. I think Brit is. I don't know. Brit could be something completely different. But also, me personally, if I was to try to get information from a woman, I wouldn't use anybody's name that I know personally. That would be dumb. that wouldn't be smart, because that would just make it obvious who it is. But I don't even know. I've never even seen these messages before.
That means that this person was not Keesha, nor was it Brit. Crazy, right? Like, this is a big coincidence. So yes, it is a possibility that this could have been Keesha, right? But why would she lie over something so stupid? But then why would Brit lie? And I don't think Brit would lie either. Again, she's saying no, and I have to take her word for it unless there is evidence to prove otherwise. And the only person that can provide me that number is Ashli. And again, Ashli doesn't want to talk with me, and that is completely fine. But she's the only one that has that number. And from that number, you might be able to work out who texted her or not. And for all you know, it could have been Ashli's ex-girlfriend.
Well, why didn't you tell your friend when she had a girlfriend laying up in her house and was using your house as the house, and you knew that Jeremy just came in and out the...
Pull up on me at my friend's house where we would sit in his car and we would talk and smoke. So I just remember it was a particular day where I needed to go to the store, and because we were already in his car, he offered to take me. And on this particular day, when we got back into the parking garage, remember him mentioning that he saw her friend.
So crazy. My bachelorette party, one of my other friends, one of my other bridesmaids, she found this condo that we were at. Keesha knew of it, of course, because she was helping plan the event, but she just got an address like everybody else. How crazy is it that I get out the car at my bachelorette party in the parking garage, about to get ready to go in the elevator, or my girls to come out their car or whatever. I see Jeremy pull in his red Audi, and I'm like, that's Jeremy. But I also seen that it was a female in the passenger seat. I was like, was that a girl in the car? And somebody was like, my homegirl, my cousin was like, yeah, that was definitely a girl in the car. I was like, okay. Literally, y'all, maybe a minute, 2 minutes, Keesha pulls in because she's here for the bachelorette party as well. And as soon as she pulls in, I tell her, I said, Keesha, I just seen Jeremy. She was like, where? I said, right here. He just came in here. And she was like, what he doing over here? I'm like, I don't know, girl, call him. She literally calls him right then. What you doing? He was like, yeah, I know, I just seen your friend. So he acknowledged that he saw me as well. She proceeds to go park or whatever, so I don't know the whole conversation that they have. And I said, this is my bachelorette party night, so I'm just trying to have a good time. I didn't talk about the conversation no more. And it's my bachelorette party, so I'm finna just turn up. When Monday comes around, I'm at work, I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, should I ask Keesha, like, did he say something? You know, like, or did he say it was a girl in the car? So I text her and I'm like, hey, I just wanted to know, did Jeremy, he let you know that it was a girl in the car? And she was like, no. I'm like, well, yeah, it was a girl in the car. And of course, my friend at this point, y'all, she pregnant with Journey and Jaya early on, but she's sick. And, you know, that's my girl, you know, she going through it. So I didn't really want to come with her with that news anyway, but I thought because he know that I seen him and he seen me, that maybe he would have admitted that who was in the car, but he didn't. They got nothing to do with me. Nah, he didn't tell me that. And then we know she went on, we friends or whatever, so we going on like, she was like, girl, what she look like? Come around, we find out who the girl is. And me being a friend, a best friend at that, I follow her. I'm not really trying to keep tabs on her, but if my girl ever needed me to see something because she feeling some type of way about what a man got going on or whatever, I need to be able to go on here and see something right quick, you know?
Now, Keesha confronted him and he apologized, and she said that she was going to let him do his thing so she can focus on the pregnancy, and she could see that wasn't his priority. He then said that he just wanted to get it out of his system, and once that she gave birth, he would marry her. Now, he ended up texting Ashli saying that he just got kicked out of their house. She was saying maybe it was her hormones or something, and he said, nah, F that, I'm about to dub her A for real, for real. She goes, is that bad? He goes, yeah. You want to talk about it? He goes, yeah, but I can't find my phone. Shaking my head, I'm trying to call my folks and see if I can kick it over there or something. She said, you think she got it? He said, I have no idea. Shaking my head. She can get it though, and if she don't, that's on her. She asked if she tried tracking it, and he said, yeah, it ain't worked. Shaking my head. Is your girl at the house too? Now, according to Keesha, instead of leaving, he ended up sleeping in the spare bedroom. After I confronted him about what Brit saw, I told him if he had with someone, don't let it be Ashli. I told him she looked promiscuous and she was a stripper and that it was too much. I told him if he had sex with anyone, he was risking losing me regardless, but for sure with her. Days later, Keesha ended up looking through Jeremy's phone.
And I was scrolling up because he was knocked out drunk. I was literally this close to him and I was looking through his messages. I could hear my heart beating out. I was like, if he wake up, but he was so cold out. And I was recording. Okay, I don't want to have his phone too long. So I'll scroll as far as you can possibly scroll. I picked up my phone, I clicked the record button, and I just went like this.
Then the next week, I went through his phone and saw he had X, and that's when I completely detached and told him to find other sleeping arrangements. Here are some of the messages that Keesha found. Now, the specific one that I have here, it says, but it's cut off. It says, I just know when you choke me. Jeremy says, you like it like that? And she says, is that really a question? He goes, I guess not. I want you right now, though. She goes, I want you too. He said, prove it. I guess maybe a couple messages later, Keesha ends up responding in Jeremy's phone saying, something, he has a whole girlfriend and 2 whole kids on the way. If you text or call this phone again, there'll be serious problems. Like, what the F is wrong with you?
And that's why I cut his ass out when it happened. I broke over him.
Keesha had messaged her. She read me messages. I've been on the phone with her while she was texting up these messages, trying to call the girl, everything. Know she got the messages. You know, talking shit because she mad. You know how any woman would. Bitch, I'm pregnant, da 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 da. And your ass over here fucking my neck, as she should. So, baby mama number 2 knew about this. She didn't care. She didn't even about what Keesha was saying. She didn't care that Keesha was pregnant and going through this and all this stuff. She didn't care.
Ashli ended up sending a screenshot to Jeremy. He goes, wow, look, I feel if you don't want to F with me no more, I respect that. She goes, yeah, I'm good. It's too much. No bad blood. I'm just not with that because you already know how I get down. He goes, facts. She then says, I'm not going to lie, it really effing with me. He goes, what? This shit making me mad. He goes, yeah, me and her got into it bad because she tried me going through my phone, then texting you at that. I'm so sorry I'm bringing this unnecessary drama in your life. I didn't mean it. She just saw our messages and, well, you could imagine how she felt. So I definitely understand you not wanting nothing to do with me. Now, Keesha ends up going on somewhat of a breakup with Jeremy.
To be, you know, stressed out while I'm pregnant, trying to worry about what you're going to be doing, what you're not going to be doing. So you do you.
I don't want to engage in nothing with you at all. Whatever you feel like you gotta go do, you gonna handle that. If you feel like that this is a choice you making, it's not reflecting back on me.
At that time, I also did advise him that it probably was not in his best interest to mess around with her.
I was like, you need to cut her off though, because the stuff that she's saying to you, she's saying crazy.
Some of the things I had seen, things that she was saying to him,
she seemed like she's not just trying to have. She seemed like she's trying to take it there as much as what you saying, but I'm still a woman at the end of the day.
We're just completely out of pocket and inappropriate. Like, it was just really, really inappropriate.
To this day, no one knows what those inappropriate messages were, and they have not been shared to the public. Now, a lot of us on the internet have been confused about this breakup. It sounds like it was like a breakup with rules. So I had to ask Keesha myself to have a better understanding of that situation. What was the situation there?
Are you talking about the breakup while I was pregnant with the twins?
Yeah.
That was a breakup with the intention that we were going to get back together after I had the twins. The terms were that I did not want him, as crazy it is, I will be honest, I just didn't want him, for one, sleeping with Ashli, because like I said, I had already saw their conversations, and to me, it just looked like she was already getting herself really attached to him, and was clear, she was okay with him disrespecting me. Now, obviously, I can't penalize or fault another woman or another outside party of what they do with my partner, because my partner should be loyal to me, but it's still up to my decision if I want to hold someone accountable for their actual character. And I felt like that was poor character for any woman to feel like it's okay for someone's boyfriend to be laid up with someone else, and then you're talking about trips and, just completely disregarding me and my pregnancy. So I chose my pregnancy over my relationship. I chose to focus on my health and making sure that I was my best version of myself for my pregnancy. And as a man, him telling me, mind you, this is my first boyfriend and now the father of my children, and he's telling me I'm lusting, and we never had any issues like this the whole time we were dating. So I'm completely caught off guard. I felt like I had no choice but to tell him, like, okay, this is what you choose to do. I hope you choose me, but I can't force you. And obviously, this is not something you're trying to do right now. Be committed. Since we couldn't. So the terms were, we're going to break up because obviously your mind's in the gutter somewhere. And I hope you don't act with having sex with other women. But if you do have sex with other women, then I don't want it to be her, Ashli. You need to understand that whatever choices you make while we're pregnant, if it's something that is unforgivable, you may lose me in the end. So I'm not saying I'm going to forgive you. I'm going to be with you 100%. I'm saying that I hope you choose me, but I can't hold your hand right now. I got to focus on my pregnancy. So I got to choose me and the babies. And that's just kind of how we left that.
Jeremy, though, continued talking to Ashli even though Keesha told him not to.
Now, like I said, we talked very frequently, and he was very adamant about talking face to face, especially after the whole situation with her going through his DM. So one day he came, pulled up on me, and we were talking, and he just kind of let me know that they were taking a step back from their relationship. Didn't really care to ask why. I just figured, they were going to focus on the girls getting here. And during this time, it wasn't like, he wasn't coming around or talking as much. Everything was still very much active, very talkative with me, constantly asking, can he pull up, can we smoke, can we talk? And so I just kept it cool.
Let's talk about this Miami trip.
He invited me to go to Miami.
Now, Keesha was invited to go, but
because y'all know I was OCD in the pregnancy, I was like, I don't want to get on the plane, and then I could start having early labor. Like, I was crazy. So I told him, no, you go. Just go ahead and go.
Okay.
I got cold feet because of the pregnancy, and we were already like disheveled because of everything that had happened in our situation so far, and I fainted. So the first time I actually blacked out fainted was the day he was supposed to leave.
Keesha fainted due to dehydration, not drinking enough water. She was pregnant with the twins at the time, so it does make sense of why she would get dehydrated easily. Due to that, Jeremy wasn't gonna go to Miami, but Keesha pushed him to.
I was like, no, go, go, go. He was like, no, I'm not going no more. Like, bump it. And I was like, you just heard the doctor. The doctor just said I'm dehydrated. Like, it's not that big of a deal. I knew better. I should have drank more water. Like, I'm good. Like, I don't want you to stop your birthday trip just for this. Like, it's okay. And he's just like, no, I'm not gonna go. No, now we arguing about him going. He tell me he ain't gonna go. I'm begging him, please go. He didn't really understand to that capacity. I wasn't really talking. The only thing we discussed was, okay, I'm not gonna go. I'm like literally begging him, please, please go. Just call the Uber. I'm gonna call the Uber for you if you don't call the Uber yourself. So I called the Uber and everything. I'm like, call the Uber. The Uber gonna be here in 3 minutes. Jeremy, go get on the plane. Just go. Like, I'm good. I said, my parents are gonna come. Like, I'm good. Like, I still got family, which I do. I did have family. My family did come. And like, my family and me are close. So within a phone call, my family came straight to the house. His twin sister, he has a twin. So his twin sister came to my house too.
And that's when Jeremy ended up inviting Ashli to go to Miami.
This is live. that I joined, you know that he called me and asked if I wanted to join him in Miami for his birthday.
Now, when I was doing my research on this timeline, there seemed to be a conflicting story here, because Keesha says, for example, that she wanted to go after seeing Jeremy post on his IG story.
She saw on his story he was down there in Miami and says, well, I want to come down there. He was like, I saw the messages. I said, there's no ifs, ands, or buts.
But Ashli was saying that she got invited by Jeremy. So I was like major confused, right? So I had to ask Jeremy to have a better understanding of the situation. Now, basically, I asked Jeremy because I'm trying to have a better understanding of the situation and want all sides of the story, right? He goes, I feel you wanted to understand both sides. And I did tell her I was going, and if she wanted to, okay. So this is my assumption, is that he did tell her, and then later on she saw his stories and then reacted to his stories saying, okay, I want to go. But that's my assumption. But again, we have no evidence to prove that she did respond to his stories and then wanted to go.
I'll be there when I be there. Okay, cool.
So next you'll see when I let him know when I was on the way to the airport and when I arrived. That moment after I get off the plane, you know, I call him, let him know like there's nobody outside. He said that he sent a car for me, so he sends another one where I meet up with him and some of his friends.
I ain't never pay for nobody more trip to no Miami, and me ma'am came at her on her own.
And the sister was talking to me about Ashli and said that she had a conversation with him about her and saying like, hey, look, you need to stop effing with girls like this because you need to be settling down looking for your wife, and you already got a wife in Keesha. So, you know, I'm a woman. We're talking about, you know, how I felt about her. I ended up going to her page. I think the sister asked me, I'm not 100% certain, but I think she ended up saying, how does she look? And at this point, I put up her Instagram to show her, and then she said her comments, and then I played her story, and Ashli showed the wing of an airplane. So I showed her, the sister twin, and I'm like, I know you fucking lying. I remember in my brain, is the main reason why I told him not to mess around with her is when I read that text message saying, I can't wait to dip off on a trip with you when I get in my bag. So she was already telling him early on, like, I want to save up money to go on a trip with you.
Keesha ended up asking Jeremy if she was out there with him.
I had no clue at all what was going on behind the scenes. He told me that she had reached out and asked if he was with me, but he didn't tell me what his response was or what happened after the conversation. That it was just pretty much to let me know that she knew that I was out there.
In Miami, we were spotted by a group of ladies, and that's when he really decided to open up about YouTube. He basically told me that it was a job. More so, it was her platform. Basically, that's how they would provide for the girls. And who am I to say, you know, hey, you can't do YouTube anymore? That he wasn't my man. Next are just some messages of how we would kind of talk to each other, especially after the Miami trip. So a lot of y'all know that his birthday is in November, and of course, so is Thanksgiving, and my sister Jay came to spend time with me. He showed up. I say all that to say that my sister logged into YouTube on my smart TV, so it was a day where a thumbnail for YouTube popped up, and it's the gender reveal for the twins. You know, I know he told me that it was business. He was going to still have to put out videos with her, and you know, that's cool, that's fine. But what I noticed was that the same outfit he had on in the video, I had just saw him at my house with that same outfit on.
And she ended up confronting him about it, and this is what he said in the messages. Ain't no you can disturb my whole day though. Wow. What the F does that mean? Cause you effing me up with this, to be honest. Now I can't stop thinking about it. So I'm tripping? No, I definitely feel where you coming from, but damn, we've been past that part, baby. Like a N involved now. Didn't I tell you what I got going on? Question mark. Like this ish is deeper than a lot ish, like I told you. So it's certain ish me and her gotta do, and we both understand that. Yeah, I am handling my business and coming straight to you when I'm done. So that's why you always seeing me in the same clothes. Now my feelings involved when I'm really the one who shouldn't because of what I got going on. But now I do, and you hit me with this wig-ish. But anything for you. I am so curious about this wig-ish. Like it was just so random. And then he said anything for you. So was he making it up to her? Like what happened? But unfortunately I wasn't able to get the answers for that. One could only speculate. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. In my head I'm speculating that maybe she said you gotta buy me a new wig and make it up to me. But I honestly don't know.
Maybe mom and dad were right when they told me.
Keesha and Jeremy end up having the twins. and he wanted Keesha to step back in the relationship.
Jeremy was ready to like, okay, you gave birth. It's time to get back into the relationship. I'm like, no. Like, now I'm pissed off. Now that I'm thinking back to what you did and the fact that I even had to endure this, like, no, I'm pissed off. So it took some time, and then I decided, okay, let's try to work things out.
Now, unfortunately, I do have no proof of this, but apparently Jeremy ended up telling his sides and Ashli that he's gonna stop seeing them now that Keesha has had the twins.
I'm home from the hospital February. I want to say January was the last time we dealt with it, because I remember seeing the message. He texted her and said, I told you there was gonna be a time that was gonna come that I was gonna like have to cut you off and be back 100% committed to Keesha. And she was like, I understand. I enjoyed my time while it lasted. And then he was just like, I'm sorry, but you know, like, I love her. Like, this is the girl I want to be with. And she said she understood. But then I saw the next message where her messaging him a few days later talking about her, like, this is hard for me type of stuff. Blah, 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 blah. Being a woman. So he doesn't know I even saw any of these things. Like, I never even had spoke to him about it, but I checked his phone again a few days later and I never saw no response back to her. So I left it alone. I left it well alone.
But it looks like the two continue to speak, and this is all an assumption due to a text that Keesha sent to Ashli in February. Hey Ashli, I spoke with you 7 months ago and told you to not have any affiliation with my boyfriend, and 7 months later, here I am again. That's strange. Maybe you were confused by my pregnancy hormones, or you just don't think with logic. But I really think it's the fact that you're comfortable with being a side piece and can't possibly find a girl or a guy who would consider you good enough to be a girlfriend. But let me make myself perfectly clear. There is no more relation with my boyfriend, the father of my 2 daughters. What kind of woman opens her legs to a man in a relationship, especially with children? Oh, and Ashli, I'm trying to be a little bit respectful to you, even though you clearly lack respect for yourself. But female, please find yourself a single man and pour out your heart and your dreams to this end, because you will never have mine. You're not his baby or bae. You are just another stripper who saw a cute AN and thought playing second is cute. No need to reach out to him and ask him ish, because once again, he's not your end. Please learn to love yourself enough to not be so. And unfortunately, the message cuts off there.
She knew what the going on too with my family, all that. Like, she talked to Keesha. Keesha told her, like, stop with my nigga, like, dead ass, and you ain't stopped. But me being a nigga, I was just like, well, shit, I can't do this with you no more. I ain't finna be talking to you now, so you either gonna get what you can, or that's gonna be it. Man, I swear to God, this is on my son. She told me out her mouth, like, I just take what I can get. And instead of her saying, okay, cool, well, you got your family, go be with your family, you told me straight up, like, I take what I can get. And it's just like, okay, you know, in my mind, I'm like, all right, cool, whatever, shit, whatever I get, yeah, cool, eat it up.
Fast forward to February, and she had wrote me again. When I let him know, his response just really did not sit right with me, and I felt like it was just time to kind of just take a step back and like regroup, refocus.
So it does seem like it was Ashli who ended the things between her and Jeremy, whatever that situationship was. But it also seemed like Jeremy wanted to keep a friendship with Ashli. She ends up messaging Jeremy saying, I'm at a point where I don't care to talk anymore, so that being said, I'm gonna take matters into my own hands. I wish you well and hope you all work out. God bless. He says, come on, you know better than that. I just been really busy for real. You know I'm gonna talk to you. I know ish ugly right now, but we're gonna always be friends. We said that.
Falling carefree from my worries.
Anyways, after that, it seems like Jeremy's and Keesha's relationship started to build up again.
Everything was great. Like, we was eating crab legs every damn day. We was back to being like real best friends. Like, we were so happy. We finally had started back being intimate again. Like, everything was great.
Now, they eventually got back together officially on March 2019, but it was hard for Keesha to shake off the infidelity that Jeremy did. Then, on Mother's Day, that's when Jeremy gave Keesha the promise ring.
Oh my gosh.
June came along and,
you know, I can't get over it. Like, I can't believe you did this. I don't know if I really want to wear this ring, blah, blah, blah. I was on and off. Then I told him, you know what, I'm off. I don't even want to deal with this. I don't even think I can get over it. So maybe we just don't need to be together.
And around June, she told him that she may need a break, in which he did cheat on her again with Ashli, and the condom broke. which led Ashli to getting pregnant.
A few days after that, I texted him and I was like, can we talk? And he came over and then I was like, you know what, let's just try to work things out. You know, I'm sorry I've been so emotional, blah, 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 blah. And he didn't tell me that he had doubled back with her. I told him I didn't want anything to do with him, but it really wasn't technically a break when they conceived their child. It was just me and my feelings because he had cheated before.
And then the couple started to get really strong again.
Like, we had been so happy. Like, we were spending every day together. We were doing so much. Like, we were just at a peak. Like, I'm just like, finally, like, okay, I can really get over what he did. Like, we're great. We were raising our girls. Like, everything was so good.
But Keesha felt like something wasn't right, and she kept asking Jeremy what was going on.
And it wasn't until like a month or two later where I started feeling like
I felt like I wanted to cry. I felt like there was something going on out of nowhere. I woke up and I said, something's not right. And I looked at him and I said, is there something you need to tell me? And he was like, what do you mean? No. I'm like, something just don't feel right. Are you sure there's nothing you have to tell me? He was just like, no, babe, like, what do you mean? I said, you ain't seen Ashli again, have you? And he was just like, no, like, why you asking me about her? Like, no, F her, da, da, da. And I'm like,
until one morning, while Keesha was asking him again, he admitted to what he did with Ashli.
So he told me that we cried, I prayed, we talked, told me everything that had happened, and you know, everything was good. And I just told him, I said, okay.
And I didn't know if he told me to have truth or not. So then I contacted her, and then she told me she was pregnant, and then she blocked him.
But Keesha still felt like something was missing, and Jeremy suggested counseling for the two.
When we had our heart-to-heart about everything that he had done for us to try to move forward with the relationship, we had already started going to counseling and healing and trying to learn ourselves better and be better as a couple and work on things. Like I said, when he had told me about what had happened with him and the girl and everything had transpired the way that it did, we sought out help to understand our love for each other a lot more. In the process of us healing that way, we then found out the situation occurred. We had already done so much work and put in so much time and effort, and me learning to forgive, that when that happened, so it wasn't like a new burden on me, it was just a part of a process we were already healing from.
She's not giving me easy.
I had a situation going on. Once I had said that I was going forward with my child. At that time, before I even knew I was pregnant, I took the test with my ex-girlfriend. We found out together. And, you know, at that time we were trying to figure out what we wanted to do, if we were going to get back together or not. And, you know, she felt like she was up for it. Okay, cool.
Once she found out that she was having a baby, she ended up sending a message to Jeremy saying, she said, have my first doctor appointment today. He goes, what's going on? I'm 8 weeks. Look, we really need to talk about this for real because I can't have a kid. So we need to have this convo. She goes, it's not your decision to make. You can say whatever you feel like you need to say, but it's my body, my life that's changing as well. He goes, I understand that, but how are you gonna bring a kid in this world like that though? Like, you deserve to have your own family with your own man, with his kid. How are we gonna explain that to the kid later on? It's not right at all. Like, I'll handle everything, I just can't have no kid. I can barely take care of the two I got now. I never stuck my D in you raw either. I use a condom every time. Bruh, stop playing with me. You not scaring me. I ain't trying to have control. I'm just letting you know what's up. The F, I don't need to process ish. I got my family. She goes, my aunt, the condom popped 3 times in the day we ate. Like, stop acting dumb. Stop acting like I'm out to get you. You can have your family. You're the one who will have to explain to them that instead of focusing on them, you chose to F around. Jeremy ends up responding saying, all of this seems weird to me because I know I didn't in you as I sent you the money for plan B and I never not know knowing it not to work. So unless you ain't get it, but I know I didn't nut in you, so I don't know how all this is even possible. You know, I took every step possible not to get you pregnant. So don't hit me up with the I should have thought before I laid down with you. I just can't see how you would even want to do a kid like that. Shouldn't it deserve to have both parents? Like, I don't want this. He goes, your mom, her, so we need to talk in person. I'm not with these games.
He's talking about he gave her a plan B. He shows me the evidence of a plan B. She's saying she took the plan B and must not have worked. She just said she got pregnant off the pre-com. Jeremy said, I want to see proof. She got offended and blocked him because he asked for the proof.
But according to Ashli in her video, Jeremy wasn't trying to hear anything that she had to say, that they weren't having an agreement, they weren't having a conversation, and that he was talking at her instead of to her. And she got tired of it, so she blocked him because she wanted to keep her sanity. Now, during some time, apparently Ashli got into a physical fight with her ex-girlfriend.
We had a situation
situation where it got into a physical altercation. I was 2 months pregnant, and with my hormones raging and everything that led up to that situation, I went through a dark time, a very vulnerable moment. I contemplated suicide. I did, and I felt like I didn't matter, and it was just because of something that happened. I was asking for help. There was a bystander. I asked for help, and this male just sat there and watched me as I'm getting drugged by this girl, and I'm 2 months pregnant. I felt helpless. I felt like I didn't matter. I felt like why am I here? Like, what is the point? Like, it hit me hard. And
according to her ex-girlfriend, Ashli sent letters.
So in that very moment, she was talking about, you know, like in her life, and she sent me a letter, her mom a letter, and her sister. She didn't send her dad one. That's why I was like, oh, she's got issues with niggas, because she didn't even say bye to her dad.
I already had my own insecurities with things. I had my own problems and stuff, and it took me a moment to come back, but I really had got to a very low moment where I just didn't want to deal with anybody.
Now, keep in mind, I'm sure there is way more to the story, and I have personally not reached out to the ex-girlfriend to grab her side of that story, but it's just important to know before pointing fingers at people, to know both sides of a story. That's all I'm gonna say to that. Now, not having no DNA test, they wasn't sure if the baby was Jeremy's.
Even when I first found out about my son, like, okay, cool, but I didn't know for sure that that was my son, because, like, you could have been out sleeping with anybody.
I said, okay, that's fine, but we're gonna wait until my baby gets here, because by that time I was already like 5, 6, 7 months pregnant. I'm not gonna get my belly stuck by no needle so you can feel comfortable and try to figure out what she about to do.
Let's do a DNA test. She did research, found out you can do DNA test while the baby's still in the womb, and let's do it. Baby mama number 2 wasn't going for it. It didn't happen.
While Keesha was on a cruise, Ashli ended up FaceTiming her.
And we talked, you apologized, said sorry, you wanted to do the right thing, you're gonna get the test. Cool. Time went on, didn't hear from you. So I reached out, hey, let's handle this like we said. Oh, I'm not ready right now. Okay, cool, we'll wait.
I mean, as much as they pushed it for months and months and months, agreeing to it, then canceling, like, nah, we ain't gonna do that, you know, it didn't happen.
Once I told them I was pregnant, I told them that however they need to go about it, if they choose to, you know, bring it to you all, that's y'all's business. I know that the platform was under her, and that, you know, they were concerned about, well, if we have to vlog and this, that, and the third, you know, how are we gonna do it around the baby? I left the ball in their court. I just said, keep me out of it. I don't care to say anything. I'm not gonna tell you gotta hide your child, you know, from the world.
Now, it seems like Keesha really wanted to get to the bottom of things and really work out if this child is actually Jeremy. So she ends up contacting Ashli's ex-girlfriend. She ended up meeting up with her, and together they were trying to figure out if it was possible that Jeremy would have been the father to Ashli's child.
Suspected it, but around the time of conception, Ashli was in Miami, and one of her stripper friends called Jamie personally and said, you need to come get your girlfriend. She down here sleeping with anybody, being a HOE again. And then that's why she was confused about, you know, who the baby daddy was, because she was like, girl, your friend calling me here, a homeboy said he just hit you, now this girl boyfriend didn't hit you, like, who's the baby daddy?
Now, while in the car, Keesha ends up recording this conversation with the ex-girlfriend. What was the reason for recording the conversation in the car?
Oh, I recorded it because I wanted to bring it back to Jeremy.
Okay.
To let him hear because I never planned on bringing it to YouTube, because I never planned on telling YouTube my business to that degree.
Yeah.
So if it's March 23rd, that means it says most probable conception date is June 29th to July 3rd.
That makes sense. What's the last time
It was beginning of June.
This is June 29th to July 3rd. So
Yeah.
maybe we're inaccurate one date or something.
Most probable dates of intercourse is June 26th to July 3rd.
So it could have been July 4th, July 5th, and we're inaccurate maybe one day.
Well, she my nigga July 4th.
That's what I'm saying.
July
She could have the other dude.
But when did you say she the other guy? You know for a fact she probably the other guy July 4th.
I don't know, but she saw July 4th. She saw him.
Okay.
Now they could have that night. We were supposed to hang out July 4th, but I just made other plans because we got into an argument.
Okay. And then she saw him.
She saw him at the party.
Do you think they was messing around before then, or that was the only time she could have fucked? So she has not told you the name of who was pregnant. She just said he has kids.
And that's why I thought it was. But then I went when she did have her Instagram activated, she told me she blocked the dude, whoever it was. I don't know his Instagram, but he was not blocked.
Okay.
I went and checked her follow, and I was like, oh, well, they still follow each other, so she's never blocked him. And to be honest, I just don't think it could be his, but I just don't. That's not how Jeremy's handling the situation. That's not how would handle it.
What would you do?
He would probably been like, okay, give me a paternity test, cool, boom, we got it. All right, that's my kid. He may be a hoe, but that nigga right there, he acts like he's older than Jeremy. Jeremy, to me, in this situation, he's acting like a hoe. He acting like a nigga that be out here just wilding, like pretty much wilding.
But that's based off of that's based off what she said, because
that's based off of what you're telling me now.
Well, he did ask for a paternity test.
It's fine. I'm just saying, like, he's acting younger than he acts. Seems like he's a grown man that's had kids for a minute. His kids are a little bit older. Like he's a grown man. Like he acts like an adult, like a actual adult. Mm-hmm. Jeremy doesn't seem like he's acting like he's a sophisticated or very stable, or very, his mind is focused on one thing. He doesn't seem like that at all.
Oh, I turn right here.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, his mind is focused on one thing, and that's him not being with her. And obviously, we can't, based off being there for a child, based off who you want to be with, if you know stuff has happened. But wait, let me tell him something. She don't fuck with you. Like, what about the child?
I mean, come on. Look. What I'm trying to tell you is, at one point in time, she didn't even give a that kid. She was about to commit, and I kept telling her, I was like, you gonna do that? And you got a kid? And then
so she was gonna commit while she was pregnant.
Yes. That was only a few weeks ago. And then I sent her a picture. Yep. And then I sent her a picture of because I took a picture when we went to the casino before we left. I took a picture of her ultrasound, just to have on my phone to show her, because she gets in her feelings sometimes. So just for her to, like, if she get down or she felt like, attacked, I show her it. So before she was about to come in.
What did she say she was gonna do? Take pills or something?
She didn't tell me. I don't never take her shit serious, because I wasn't raised, like, I was raised off tough love. Like, I don't feel sorry for myself ever, and I would never commit.
So this is only a few weeks ago, though? That's though.
That was
she's 4 months.
Now, this is a really sensitive topic, so I feel like it's really important to dive into this right now. And I don't think it's okay to feel like when someone's pregnant and they're going to commit that, they don't care for the baby or whatever, At the end of the day, depression is a mental illness. And I don't think people with that are going to think logically of the sense of, oh, well, you know what? I should live for my baby. Because at the end of the day, it's an illness. Or it could be other illnesses and other factors as well. According to Doreen Marshall, PhD VP of Mission Engagement at the American Foundation for S Prevention, ASFP, says it can be linked to a combination of factors such as physical brain structure, brain chemistry, hormones, or genetics. We should be mindful of the thoughts of that can also occur outside of the context of clinical depression and occur with other mental health conditions such as anxiety, post-traumatic stress, or substance use disorders.
So if I respectfully come and message her, do you think she's just she's gonna ignore me?
Don't say that. What are you gonna say?
Let's have a conversation as a woman. You said let's have a conversation as a woman. When is that day gonna come? When hell freezes over?
Oh, she don't give a like, she really don't. She only does things according to her time when she wants to do it. And you have to keep asking her, and you be like, okay, what the like, what do you expect me to do? Like, you're not telling me nothing. And she's like, oh, like, I don't have time. And then she'll use that as leverage for her to get angry again and be like, I don't want to do you and block.
Oh my god,
that's how she works. She do that shit all the time. And that's another message she's talking about. Don't call me trying to get your shit out of my house because you're not getting it.
And the thing is, I'm just trying to come to her and respectfully have a conversation. I don't understand what's wrong with
she
it.
Don't care. I be trying to come to her respectfully all the time. That was June 20th.
So she was pregnant on June 20th.
So I don't think she knew how long she was pregnant at all.
So it says her conception date was June 29th. Conception date.
When did he? And when would her supposedly date be if he did?
June 20th. That means
that's the day she would have been due. I mean, not due, but That's the day she would have conceived. He probably is.
If she was already pregnant, that means that it wasn't a day conceived. She conceived way before then. Unless she was like a day pregnant.
I didn't know that specific day, but I knew that those last few weeks that she's been pregnant, she has been drinking. That's what I was telling her.
Oh, so she didn't know she was pregnant?
No.
So she only had missed her period by 2 weeks. That's how she knew, or she missed her period by a month?
She said she hadn't came out her period and she was worried. Usually when that happens, you wait a whole month. You don't wait no damn 2 weeks from your last period. You usually wait a month and you be like, okay, if you have male friends that leave condoms, this is what I told her. I was like, if you have male friends that leave condoms in your trash can by your bed, that's ridiculous. And yeah. She was like, I don't have male friends except one that's not my best friend since high school. He been in my house once. You keep trying to act like you know what's going on or you got shit figured out. So if that's the case, don't talk to me. I said one thing I didn't say. Well, my assumption was you always talking about stop bringing it up, tit for tat, but that literally all you do. I was like, I'm not doing it tit for tat. It's literally facts and hearing is acceptable. I have female friends. How the fuck would you feel if I kept making my own story in my head and keep telling you what you did and you know that's not at all nowhere the truth?
So she literally just said whoever it was she talking about Jeremy, or was she saying just one random guy has been in her house one time?
She said one guy that I don't know who it is because I never know she had a male best friend. That's bullshit.
Oh, she's saying she had a male best friend only been in her house one time.
Yeah, she said that's the only person that's been in her house. And I was like, I said, if you have male friends that leave condoms in your trash by your bed, that's ridiculous.
Oh my gosh. I want to be able to play this cool right now. I want you to still kick it and be cool and blah, blah, blah. Because really, if you don't stay cool and be a mediator for her, we're never going to get the answers that we need. If you say her and blow the whole gasket off the case, then we're never going to be able to get your answers if it was your friend, my answers if it was my man, or any of that. The only thing
that's what we're going to do.
Okay.
We're going to get the answer and I'm done dealing with her.
Okay, you can be done. I need you to help me figure it out. I need you to help me convince her to get this paternity test.
I'll get the answer from her.
But we got to also remember, she's still,
that's what I'm saying.
I don't want you to do nothing that's going to provoke her to kill.
So with Miss Ma'am, she hit me up. It was Thanksgiving Day that she reached out to me of 2019. I was big as hell. And that was the first time like she was really asking, could we sit down and talk? So I just let her know like, hey, it's Thanksgiving. I'm with my family. I'm out of town for the matter. That won't be happening. She told me, okay, just hit me up whenever. I didn't feel the need to speak with her face to face until after I had my child, just because I didn't know what she had up her sleeve. I didn't know what was going to happen. You know, at the end of the day, this man created a baby outside of y'all's situation. I just had to be cautious. I had to be careful about the energy that I'm allowing around me while I'm pregnant and carrying my child.
Now, Keesha ended up falling pregnant again in December 2019.
We are
very
pregnant.
And around this time, it seems like Ashli and Jeremy were still talking friendship-wise. But seems like maybe he was telling her more than that, according to her video.
As we would talk, just felt like I had my friend back. It felt like old times. We were joking and laughing. When February hit, my friend hit me up like, hey, did he tell you he has another baby on the way and that he's probably engaged? And I told her no, I had no idea. I brought it up to him. I felt like, you know, you're talking to me about how you feel about me and how you care about me, but you're not mentioning, you know, another kid. By this time I was already upset because when I asked him about the delivery and what did we want to do, he would act like I'm going to be there for mine, but his response was all the nurses would know him from YouTube.
She ended up saying to Jeremy via text saying, well, it's been brought to my attention that for 1, you're engaged, and 2, you will have another child on the way. That being said, I think it's very clear where everyone stands and we need to just focus on being parents, period. All the blurry lines and not knowing what you want is out the window. Second, I feel like yes, you all decide to make you all's life public, but every time we talk about delivery, you bring it up YouTube, but you say you want to be there. I'm not doing no come and go BS, especially behind YouTube. I could give a rat's A because you all had time to narrate how you felt. It was necessary to prepare for this. I didn't make a child by myself, so for you to talk to me about YouTube, this and image that, and when it's been 8+ months, figure it out, and once again leave me in the dark is not cool. I'm not going to force you, but I'm not going to wait around for you to finally decide if you truly want to be around for the moments you would never get a chance to relive. He responds saying, first off, we are not engaged, that's cap. I would have told you when I said something about my bro. We do have another daughter on the way, which I'm I'm totally blessed by, but was not planned. Like, we just talked about all this yesterday. That was the one thing I didn't bring up, but I kept it real in our conversation. Please don't listen to these outside sources. That's just the one thing that's gonna kill what we're trying to do before it even starts. Like, I'm gonna be there for mines, period. I ain't give an F what nobody gotta say. Like, we just had a great convo. We know where each other head at about all this. Yeah, I agree, but I feel like you're selective of what you tell me, so if I don't ask, I don't know. He said, nah, I was definitely gonna let you know, not something I can keep a secret or even want to. I just wanted to make sure we were on a good space first before I just dropped something like that. Like I said, I got a lot going on right now.
As it's getting closer to my due date, which originally was March 21st, 2020, we were definitely speaking more frequently. We had talked about his brother expecting and that he had just got married. So on February 27th, he texted me telling me his brother just had his daughter. I told him congrats and I asked how they were doing. The response I got was at 4:25 in the morning from what I thought was him. But the response and the verbiage, I could tell it was definitely her. We weren't even talking about a DNA test because we had already said once the baby got here that we had a clear understanding what was going to happen.
And actually end up giving birth to a boy in March 2020. So, was Jeremy there?
Unfortunately, his dad was not there for the birth for his own personal reasons. I'm not going to get into that. When I let him know, his response was, damn, when?
He didn't even know she was giving birth until she texted him after he was born and said he's here.
But according to Keesha and Ashli, the receipts that both of these girls provided in their videos, Jeremy didn't know about Ashli giving birth. After that, Jeremy will end up spending time with Ashli and her son, but he also was flirting with Ashli.
Even on Mother's Day, and he didn't even know he was the father on Mother's Day, but he texted her like sometime in the afternoon or something like that, and then she started getting mad as hell, and I'm like, what's she mad about? And I told Jeremy from that day, I said, Jeremy, look, I think Ashli still like you, and this probably not gonna work out, so we're gonna have to probably do something to try to get everybody on the same page, because what she's texting you, if she's just the mother of your alleged son, she would not be saying the things that she's saying.
Fast forward to June 6th, Mr. Sir asked me to meet with Miss Ma'am and said, you know, hey, you know what, like, I really need for you to hit up Keesha because start trying to move forward, and I think it would be best that if we had y'all come together and talk it out. She's just ready to have a conversation with you. We need to do something where y'all finally speak to each other and have a meeting so that way he could meet his sisters and stuff. And mind you, he still ain't got no DNA test, but you want me to set up a conversation with her. Okay. Out of respect of, you know, whatever they had going on, they're trying to move forward in their household, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool, whatever. Like, she wants to speak, let's speak. The energy was definitely weird at first. I could tell like she was just kind of looking at me, taking it all in. She was just trying to get the vibe, trying to see what was going on. And I definitely was doing the same thing.
You know, let me just figure out what's going on. Any woman would have had questions. I'm trying to check his story. I'm trying to see what she's saying.
What we were doing, when certain things happened or certain events occurred. We're comparing stories.
It's our first time we're really having a conversation.
For 4 hours. I tried to really just make her feel as comfortable as possible as I could, just for the sake of, I could only imagine how that would feel.
For the most part, she just made it seem as though like what they had was nothing more than just the relations in the bedroom, and it wasn't like I'm trying to take your man type of thing. She apologized.
She wanted to know certain questions like about the Miami trip and things like that. That's when she told me that she was upset that because she had funded it, slapping her face to her. That's when she also told me that while we were out there, that's when she had fainted. I had no idea about that.
Keesha then confronts Ashli about the messages that she sent to Jeremy on Mother's Day.
Like, Ashli, why were you texting him like you had an attitude with him on Mother's Day? And what she told me was, well, I was just mad because I asked him like how was his Mother's Day going, and he was telling me it was so great with you and he was having a great day treating you, and I just felt like at least he could have came over and bought August something. I'm like, Ashli, it wasn't Son's Day, it was Mother's Day, so why would he come to your house and buy August something? But he didn't buy my kids nothing, so why would he? Like, that don't make sense to me.
Keesha then informed Ashli about a book that she was making.
I let her know, like, I have a huge social media platform, like, I'm just gonna be respectful enough to let you know we were gonna be writing a book.
Yes, I knew about a book.
If there's anything you want to say, add, take away, or anything like that, you let me know, or you have a conversation with Jeremy about it if you feel like your voice want to be heard.
But according to Ashli, Keesha never gave her that opportunity.
Oh, baby girl, you didn't. You didn't. You did not. That the book was supposed to be strictly about just their lives.
The complexity of whatever they had going on was not going to be inside the book.
What I'm not going to do is over here give you a glorifying position in this book and make it seem like you was just outstanding girlfriend number 2. That's not what's going to go down. She said, I definitely get it. I'm so sorry for what I did. All I ask is that you all don't like try to disrespect me and call me like a homewrecker, like call her sluts, whores, stuff like that. She said, other than that, I said, okay, we're going to downplay it. And she said, okay.
And that towards the end of the book, they were going to somehow incorporate, August was here.
But then in an interview, Ashli ends up contradicting herself.
I'm not in it at all. August is not in it or nothing. It's about their life.
I was told that they weren't going to say his name.
She was very understanding.
But I was just told that that's how they were planning on introducing it, you know, just putting it at the end of the book.
I told her the format that it was going to be written in.
Now, Ashli ends up indicating that Keesha wasn't being sincere when she was talking to her because she was trying to, from what it sounds like, intimidate her.
You never, like, why would I sit there in your face and really tell you all the truth and sit there and act like I'm buddy with you when you're sitting here telling me to my face that you have so much power that if you wanted to drag me in this book, you could if you wanted to, because it's a part of your life. It's part of your story.
Did you tell Ashli that you could drag her in the book if you wanted to?
Did I tell her I could drag her in the book if I wanted to? No. I believe my exact words were, I'm not going to drag you in the book. That don't even sound realistic for me to say.
I told her at that time that if she wanted to read the book, then please let Jeremy know, and that after we wrote the book, we would be doing a follow-up sit-down video.
Now, apparently Keesha spoke about the sit-down video a little bit with Ashli.
We kind of sort of talked about whether or not she was going to be in our sit-down video, just so, you know, she can be included with her version of the story and answer questions. I decided against her being in the sit-down video because I felt like people were going to look at me like, girl, you got to be kidding me. So you telling me that your man did this, and now you sitting down here laughing and giggling with another woman and your boyfriend did this to you? Like, I don't get, like, this is a joke to us.
I wasn't trying to feel her out. I was just trying to get to the bottom of what was going on and get to this DNA test to figure out like what we were going to do moving forward. I thought we had a very good, respectful conversation. I also sat down in this moment with you and I told you, you know, look, I know everything that has happened and you know how I handled the situation prior, but look, you know, me and Jeremy are back in a relationship now. We are doing so much better and I want to move forward in a healthy direction for my family, and I want your son to be equally included in his father's life. I'm never going to stand in that way. You know, she was telling me about some of the things she was going through financially and how hard it had been for her, and I told her, just so you can know how sincere I am, I'm going to give you like a nice care basket of a lot of the things that I love for my girls when they were younger, and you know, I'm going to get that for you. I'm going to give it for him. This is me letting you know, kind of like a peace offering for you to see I'm accepting your son, so you don't never got to walk away saying, you know, that she really liked my son. I told her these are my expectations. Now that you know what's up and we've had a conversation like women, now you owe me some loyalty. Now we have some type of connection, so we owe each other that type of loyalty to make sure we work these things out for these kids.
After that little meet and greet, she gave me a hug on the way out and was just like, you know, make it home safe. After that,
and Ashli was really upset that Jeremy didn't tell her about the book.
Once I processed, I definitely contacted his father. I was heated. I was like, yo, why am I hearing about a book and not from you? Like, I don't get that.
So when the was you gonna say something about a book?
He gave me this whole spiel about it's really not like that. It's strictly about me and her life. We're not even gonna say his name and we're not gonna talk about you at all. I'm like, okay, that's cool.
Jeremy said, however I gotta go about it, I can. If I really want to just really drag it, then I could, but I'm not even gonna do that because that's not the type of woman I am and blah, blah, blah.
But in that same sentence, I also said, anything that's said about my son, I want to be able to read it because I feel like, you know, you're speaking on him. I told Jeremy that I feel like it would be out of respect. You know, he was like, yeah, you know, I get that.
And after that, it honestly seemed like Ashli and Keesha started to move on from the past and making things work for their kids.
You know, chit chat every here and there, kind of just check in. She would ask how August was doing and stuff.
This is still just Ashli. This was just showing that, you know, their relationship.
loves my son to death as if he is her own. She was the first person who was flooding me with gifts for the baby before the baby even got here. Like every day she's out shopping, she's bringing back to her apartment clothes and little toys and stuff for him before he's been here.
And not only that, but Ashli not only wanting Jeremy to have a relationship with her child, but she wanted Keesha to have a relationship with him as well. Keesha ends up saying, I know Jeremy wants to be a part of his life and he says stuff to me all the time to let me know he loves him, and I told him if he truly believes it, get the test and put yourself on the paperwork and be all in 100%. Don't half step now. If a test is what's holding you back, I know he probably holds back because he knows I'm still hurting and this isn't the easiest process for me, but August shouldn't have to suffer. And I doubt for 1 second he wants to be in his life, but I just don't understand the stalling. I mean, I do in the sense of hurting you, and I understand completely, but the longer he waits, the more anxiety builds up and the older he gets. Because honestly, I'm not too thrilled about having to share my baby, and each day our bond grows stronger and tighter. It's gonna be hard to just let him go with Jeremy or his family. I just want that what's best for August. It breaks my heart thinking of all what if and should've, could've, would've.
He would like let me know everything, what was going on, what he thought. But just for me, I just was like, when are y'all gonna get the DNA test? He continued to go over there. He started purchasing things for his child and things of that nature. Time went on, blah blah blah.
And according to Ashli and Hazel, a good friend at the time of Ashli's, Jeremy was the one that was holding back on it.
Because they were so adamant about, oh, we don't want them to meet each other if we don't know for sure. Like my family knew, I knew, everybody knew who the daddy was. Like y'all are the only ones who are living in La La Land. Oh, possibly could not be. Like, okay.
She was asking for the test. He had waited 4 months to get a test. That wasn't anything but him. He stood in front of that test being taken.
He kept telling me, and he kept telling Miss Ma'am that he's gonna call around for doctors. When I went to my doctor's appointments and I asked, they said they do not do DNA tests unless it is provided from the court. I said, you know, you could go to CVS, you could go to Walmart, Walgreens, you get your DNA test. It's not too far from the baby section at all.
Here at his mama's house, he claimed that it was her that kept pushing for it, that he claimed that he knew this whole time that August was his, but then be turning around and be acting like, you know, he ain't know. And he told my sister, I mean, well, Ashley's got an ugly girl, so, I mean, she could have did whatever. I don't know.
We were both feeling the same way. I said, when that DNA test come back, if that is your child, just like a light switch, immediately there ain't gonna be no questions or doubt about your love for him. But me, it's not my child. So it's not gonna be like a light switch. It's gonna be a process. And I'm gonna go through highs, I'm gonna go through lows of trying to accept and understand my new normal. But if you and her are willing to just keep these boundaries, be respectful, I'm willing to try to make this work.
During this time as well, Keesha did not tell her family that Jeremy could have a baby outside of the relationship.
I kept it from them because I didn't want them to even stress out, wonder, bother. Y'all was delaying, lollygag, getting the test. You was gonna get the test, you didn't get the test, blah, blah, blah. Then you got the test. Okay, cool.
Whilst Keisha's being friendly and talking to Ashli, Ashli and Jeremy betrayed Keesha behind her back. So as you can see in the messages here, she said, did you set the face ID? He goes, baby, not yet. Do it so I can send you stuff. It's under an account, and then go to the chats and take it off of save to camera roll. He goes, I did, baby. She goes, okay. Now, if you haven't already, delete the other videos I sent you and I'll send you them on here. And when I get home, I'll send you something. So she was still sending stuff to Jeremy and they were doing things so Keesha wasn't able to see them.
If I'm sending pictures, you don't think I'm getting pictures and videos back? If I'm talking to him a certain kind of way, you don't think I'm getting no messages back?
And as you can see here, she would create a new Snapchat account so only Jeremy could see what she was posting, because obviously there's certain things she doesn't want Keesha to see, and she will create it under a different name.
When someone entices someone else or uses lustful tactics to, you know, whatever is going on behind closed doors, then it kind of is like every apology that you gave me is now disingenuous.
Ashli ends up mentioning that she couldn't afford not to work anymore, so she decided to get a job as a bottle girl at a club.
When I first told him about me starting work as a waitress, he kept telling me I don't need to be a waitress and I need to make my own work and work for myself. Then he would say, man, I'll pay you to watch our son. That's petty money. It's easier said than done to just get up and start a business when you're taking care of a newborn versus getting some, direct money, some fast, instant cash money where you can get up and go to the store and go get your baby what they need versus trying to wait on that. I didn't have time for that. I went to work, till 7 o'clock in the morning. Mind you, August was about 4 months at this time. And when I would get home at 7 in the morning, he's just now waking up for the first bottle of the day. So I wouldn't really get to go to sleep till about 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. His father felt like because I was done breastfeeding, he needed to start sleeping in his own bed. So I found some cribs that I liked and I showed them to him. The next time he came over, he had a DNA test with him. He also gave me $100 to put towards the crib.
Finally got the Walgreens test, so now we good. Or Walmart. Test came back, he's the father. Cool. And just like I said, just like a light switch, this man broke down in tears. Love his son. Immediately after I found out this is their sibling, it was my responsibility to say, here's the green light. I mean, he didn't need a green light to be a father, but for him to have my okay and my blessing to say, this is how we need to move in this situation. They had to meet their sibling and had that type of relationship. And that's what they're gonna know from this situation is that they have a brother that they love.
They finally got the results, and Jeremy ended up inviting his son and Ashli over to meet Keesha and his kids.
After the DNA test came back,
Mr. Sir invited us over to swim with the girls, and to my understanding, I thought everybody was on one accord.
I thought it was going to be an intimate gathering because this was their first time really meeting each other, me meeting the girls and vice versa. So I wanted to bring my sister for support.
Now, if you guys didn't know or you did know, Keesha's mother stays at Keesha's home taking care of her kids while she works and while Jeremy works, okay? Kind of like a nanny.
So we decided that we would hire her.
Yes, I get to be y'all's nanny. I don't have to go work no more. I'm gonna be y'all's nanny now.
So she was there at that time, and as you guys know, Keesha didn't tell her family about Ashli until I believe when they get the results or a day later after they got the results about the child.
My mother found out about Jeremy having a child outside of our relationship the day before she met the child and the mother.
So on July 18th, my family found out that Jeremy had a son. And I had to come and sit my family down and say, I know I'm about to give birth, but by the way, Jeremy got a son. My mama is like, what the hell? You about to give birth?
My best friend found out and it was confirmed the day before. My best friend flew in to Atlanta.
Flying in from Miami, she surprised me because this is a lot for me. 2 weeks before I give birth, I'm an emotional wreck. I'm going through a lot.
And within an hour of her surprising me, we found out that he and she was coming over.
You text me, Jeremy said I can come over. He can meet his sisters. Cool. Next thing you know, Jeremy's like, okay, babe, can you come over? She said it's okay, da, da, da. I'm like, oh my gosh, okay. My best friend says, no, this is not the right time. Wait, don't let her come over with the baby. You need to get yourself together. You just found this out, process it.
I sucked it up and I said,
let it go. Let me just let her over.
I didn't give myself time to heal, process, or nothing. I said, let me suck it up and be a team player. And like I said, my mom had no idea. And my mom is hurting and processing.
When we got there, it was me and my sister in August. We were left downstairs 30 minutes.
Yeah, like 30 minutes.
45 minutes. Then they popped up and it was awkward. She had a friend with her. He had his friend with him. We're all just kind of just there.
No one was talking but except with each other.
My mom has no idea that you about to walk into my house. My mom was upstairs. We downstairs. I'm meeting the baby downstairs. My daughter's downstairs. I come back upstairs and I know how my mama is. So I ain't want to, I was just like, okay, let's just pray for the best. Y'all know how mamas can be. I come in the house, hey ma, hey. And y'all walk in right after.
And when we went upstairs, we weren't acknowledged by her mother, and that didn't really sit right with me. She didn't have to give us any hugs. Just a simple hello would have been fine.
What I want to say is when she walked in that door, she didn't speak to my mother in my house, not the other way around.
And she's just looking like, who's this?
Like any mother would.
Everybody quiet. Best friend there quiet. Jeremy quiet. Jeremy's friend was there too. He was quiet. And then Ashli and her sister were there. Didn't say a word.
And then she saw the baby
and puts 2 and 2 together.
And I saw my mom.
And she immediately is pissed.
hurt, upset, frustrated.
So in that very moment, she bit her tongue and like, let me just keep sweeping this floor. Because I don't know why this girl done let this girl come up her house and she pregnant.
And at that point, she was looking at her daughter, about to give birth, 2 weeks from that point, and having to have another woman walk through here with her child and try to put her best foot forward.
And he's in the pool with the girls and with August.
They mingle, they play.
I'm walking back and forth from being in the pool and, you know, just letting them do their thing. I just feel like, once again, I'm trying. Like, I'm where y'all live, so y'all are comfortable. Y'all have y'all space. This is where, you know, y'all do y'all things. And I'm trying to avoid how I feel and just, you know, off the strength of my son, try to mend this gap.
I was being chippery. Hey, girl, like, just trying to keep my sanity.
Not only did you do that, but you came inside the house and you put your son unclothed right after he got out the water.
Put the baby on the couch. Next thing you know, you called Jeremy to go on the balcony.
And you got your sister and walked
outside
to smoke a blunt on my balcony.
Okay, Jeremy, so she said she needed to talk to you real quick. So I'm like, well, the baby being left on the couch unattended could roll over. I mean, the baby was 4 months, but anything could happen. I'm like, well, you know, maybe I can take him in my room and, you know, let me try to bond with him a little bit.
Maybe this is an opportunity for me to just get to know him a little bit more. So I asked Jeremy and you, was it okay? And of course, you thought it was a great idea.
Oh, yes, please do.
And apparently, Keisha's mother overheard Ashli saying this about her.
Hollering that I'm a rude ass bitch and stuff though. I ain't rude. She went out on the patio door and she called me a rude ass bitch.
While I took her child in my room and cared for him and made sure he was okay after spending time in the pool with his sisters with no hesitation.
I say, hey girl, I see he got scratches on him. You want me to cut his nails? I got the little baby clipper. Okay, girl, cool.
Your son was in the room with me for about 30 to 40 minutes before you even walked back there one time.
My mom's still like sweeping that damn floor like, oh hell no. She come in the room and was like, what? Why? Like, what are you doing?
And shortly after my mom seen me doing that, it hurt her to her heart that she just got her stuff and said, you know,
I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna go home. Call me once all this is done. Because I can't sit back and watch this. Because it's not gonna be cute if I stay. She's very disrespectful already. Now she's on the balcony. She out there smoking. You watching her child. She said that she feels as though you were being inappropriate.
Because she all up in your man's face. I said, you gotta watch that hoe. She's out on the patio. And why you got to her baby? Cutting his toenails.
This is too much for me, and my mama dipped the hell out.
And made sure that I was good with my best friend. It wasn't no malice. My mom not no bully. My mom is not no evil woman.
You came back in, you out in the living room. I'm like, dang, when she gonna come in here? She gonna come get the baby? Like, what? So I'm still playing with the baby. I'm like, hey girl, you wanna come back? I didn't know if you was uncomfortable, what it could have been. So you come in there. Oh, I'm so glad you're bonding with him. Like, this is what I want.
And the second time you came over, you chose the same thing.
After the meetup the next day, Keisha ends up messaging Ashli saying, hey, it was very nice meeting August yesterday. He's such a sweet and joyful baby. The girls warmed up to him and it actually made me feel a lot better because I was still torn about the news. Now that everything is confirmed, I do want him to come over more. I just got put into bed rest this morning until I give birth, which is on the 28th. So if you don't mind, could you actually bring him by maybe twice again this upcoming week? I know Jeremy's going to still go to you, but I just want the girls and myself to spend time with him before our daughters get here. You can bring your sister if you feel comfortable that way, but I just want everyone to be comfortable and make this transition easy as possible. Ashli responds saying, hey, sorry for the late response. I just needed time to process as well. But I was happy to see the girls interacting with August. I will say I don't have a problem bringing him around. I just wish that Jeremy would have done a better job properly introducing everyone because my sister and I were very uncomfortable and there were moments that didn't leave the best taste. Once again, I know everyone is trying to move forward, so I'm trying to take it with a grain of salt. That being said, just let me know what days would work for you and we will be there. Keisha responds to Ashli saying, Jeremy didn't let me know you were coming over until when you were literally on the way and my friend flew in from Miami to surprise me 10 minutes before that. I told him he should have had a conversation with me prior so I could have known that what was going on. But he said he wasn't trying to hurt me more so he thought it would have been easier to ask when you were on the way. I spoke to him and expressed that he has to do better at communication because although he had good intentions to bring everyone together, he said he wasn't trying to force everything on me at once. That's why I decided to reach out and communicate about you coming over where I could actually have time to bond with him and the girls as well because we now have to make household arrangements to include him. My family, excluding my sister, is just now finding out Jeremy has another child outside of our relationship and that has hurt them deeply but had to get with the program for the sake of my mental peace. Everyone wants to include August and rightfully include you being that you are his mother. But like I told Jeremy, it's best to 100% communicate with me everything because although I'm hurt by it, I cannot dwell in my pain. I'm trying to do the right thing regardless and Monday, Tuesday and Thursday are good days for us. Ashli responds saying, yeah, I'm gonna have to have a conversation with him because the day he got the test back, he blew me to see him, which is fine, but he asked me 3 times to bring him the next day. So with him asking over, I even gave him a time frame I could bring him. He knew I was coming. I even reconfirmed the day off. So obviously, I'm gonna have to go back to communicating with you because there's no reason or excuse, in my opinion, why he made a plan before speaking with you. I don't like that he rushed this process because, as I said, it was very uncomfortable, and I understand that the situation at hand is uncomfortable in itself, but for me, the energy was not inviting at all. My sister said she even tried to speak to your mother out of respect and she was ignored, and she definitely didn't acknowledge me, which bothers me because if she is potentially someone who will be around my son, some type of acknowledgement would have been better than to act as if we were not present. I'm not saying that your family won't be accepting of August, but if that's the first reaction, that doesn't comfort me into wanting to have him around with or without me. My sister did voice to Jeremy that it would have been nice to have a heads up about the friends being around, because if I had come by myself and saw that, I would have left honestly. That was supposed to be an intimate moment, and being that we were coming to where you all are most comfortable definitely made me feel away. However, being in a place you're in, I do appreciate your efforts in all of this, so that is why, despite how I feel or felt, I will make sure I do my part. That being said, I can bring him Tuesday, Thursday, so I will make sure to reconfirm with you. Keisha responds saying, firstly, on my mom's behalf, I know she's protecting me and she was so happy to be meeting a granddaughter soon, and for me to have to sit her down and say, sorry, me, but Jeremy has a son and he's actually 4 months old, was a big shock to her. She had no clue about any of this, and now seeing I went my whole pregnancy hurt by this and she had no clue is very offensive to her. I knew she wasn't prepared at all because she didn't even know you were there until we walked back in the house. That's why I wish Jeremy would have told me prior to, so I could have told her. I don't know about his friend coming, but my friend flew in to surprise me because she knew I had just found out the news and she had no clue you were coming, so everyone was clueless. I did speak to her today about it and she just said that she didn't know what was going on or who was who except for August, obviously because he was a baby, but she wants to move forward and doesn't have any negative energy against you. As far as Jeremy, he expressed that it is the end of the pregnancy and he knows I've been stressed enough with all this, so he's making poor communication choices, but moving forward he would do better, so I'm holding him to that. Hopefully when you come on Tuesday, we all can be moving in a positive direction, in which I understand that completely. However, I'm not going for a grown woman to not at least have common courtesy to at least speak regardless of if she knows who is who, because as I stated, if I'm not comfortable with who I see around my child, I'm not allowing him to be in that energy. I love my son with all my heart, so I'm just as protective, but it does exclude me from being polite and acknowledging anyone. It's just a lot for me to take in, being that one moment it was August was in the dark and now every time Jeremy's on the phone he's showing August off. Your friend didn't speak either, like it just was a lot going on. I already know I'm going to be looked at differently because I'm the other woman, but anyone I would bring around you all would never conduct themselves like that. They would be inviting and welcoming despite how they feel personally. I would hope your mother doesn't have an issue with me because I want August to be able to come around comfortably. Like I said, if I don't feel respected, I will have to move, and it cuts off there. I don't have the other messages. Keisha then says, I understand that sentiment and respect your feelings, Ashli. I think things you really went left due to poor communication and people not knowing how to react on the spot. I can only be responsible how I handle this, and just know all in all, no one was trying to be intentionally spiteful. I didn't bring anyone into a bad space because, like I said, had I known, I would have already had a conversation with everyone and made sure everyone was okay. I'm glad Jeremy's including August and being proud to show him off. I know he will have a lifetime of love and support from his dad because that's what he deserves as well. I don't think it's more so being the other woman per se, but my family saw me completely broken when I was pregnant with my daughter because of Jeremy's poor decisions, and once I forgave him and everyone else did too, no one expected this. If me and Jeremy are together and trying to move forward and heal, then it is the right thing for me to move forward and forgive everyone involved because it takes two to make a baby. I went into preterm labor. It's just very important for me to make it through this time so that I can bring my daughter home when I come home. So above all, my goal is to have a cordial relationship with you and be a positive impact on your child's life. As a mother, I do respect your position, and like I told Jeremy, him wanting to be with me means respecting me and communicating at all times so that we can create a positive environment for the children. I don't want to have any negative energy on my end, and I hope you can just be understanding that I am truly trying my best that I can do from a positive relationship with you and do the right thing no matter what. Ashli ends up responding saying, good afternoon. It's a little hard here tone I voiced via text, so I kind of wanted to just leave the conversation where it was last night, but if possible, I would like for us to all sit down and talk so we can truly be on the same page and have a true understanding. And Ashli ended up speaking to Jeremy after that.
Him and I would get into it because he would constantly keep telling me how she feels, and you know, what she's going through. Like, I couldn't possibly imagine or have a clue. Like, I'm not a single mother working, taking care of a newborn, or like it's any easier on my side. At this point, you know, I just really was over it. I had already sat down with her and heard what she had to say.
She texted saying, "You can't just wait to see him Tuesday when I come. You're not finna keep talking to me like I can't comprehend the situation at hand, and you're not about to keep cutting me off and telling me how I'ma feel. She chose to stay with you, so she chose to deal with all that comes with you, so y'all can miss me with all the extra ish. It's been over a year to process. At the end of the day, if you're her and if you're so worried about what's on her plate to handle, get your ish together. You should have gave her time to process and tell her family before you invited August to come swim. Take your accountability for how you move and how you affect her. That's not my job. Everything you've asked, I've done."
And even after she reached out and told me she was uncomfortable not being spoken to, I told her straight up I was uncomfortable with this whole situation. But we all got to grow up and realize that we got to do what we got to do as parents for these kids. And I talked to my mom, and as hard as it was for her to accept that, I said, when she come back over, Mom, I want you to speak. And she did that for me, for her child. So there's certain things that you do for the sake of your kids.
And after that, it honestly looked like Ashli and Keesha still kept bonding.
We're constantly talking back and forth, chit chatting. At this point, Miss Ma'am and I are speaking more than me and Mr. Sir.
Well, Dave, we don't know if you're capable of being able to do it.
She said out her own mouth. I said he don't do bath time with them, bedtime, nothing. Like, she was like, girl, no. I said, in my house, if you come over at night, you're doing bath time.
Now, there was a second time that Ashli ended up visiting Jeremy, Keesha, and the kids while the mother was there. And apparently, Ashli ended up saying this.
These the words and the quote she said. "Oh, when you have this baby, I'm going to come over here and get you dressed up so I can go find you a man."
Now, to be fair, it is really hard to tell if Ashli was serious or joking. Because, you know, sometimes, especially with older people, some things can be taken out of context. Because in my head, I was like, would she really say that? Like, would she really say that? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. Now, eventually, according to Ashli, Jeremy would stop taking care of his son like he used to when he would go and visit Ashli.
After the DNS test was done, all the bath time, bedtime stuff, that was out the window. He would just come and just kind of kick it on the couch, crawl on the floor. When I get on the floor to play with the baby, and it's like, okay, yeah, like we all about to play. But other than that, like,
nothing.
But not only that, apparently he would continue.
The visits weren't solely for August.
Empty-handed.
They weren't for August.
Like,
so she's upset that he's not taking care of his son like he used to, but at the same time, he's being busy with her. And from the sounds of things, according to Ashli, it sounded like Jeremy wasn't making any more time for his son, August.
Like I said, if it's really about the kids, I'm asking you to be a parent, to be a father. I try to get this man to come up with a schedule for when he can make time for August. I'm calling him and he's talking about he's kicking it at his homeboy house. He's talking about he's at the studio now. Regardless if he's working or whatever, if you got time to kick it with your homeboys, you got time to come see your kid. At the end of the day, I don't care how you want to put it, you got time to see your kid regardless, period, point blank. My son's whereabouts and when and how long can he stay, it's none of your business.
Jeremy's child to another state before letting him know.
I don't care to be with you. I don't want to be with you. I didn't ask to be with you.
Before the book hit the internet, all parties involved gave the okay.
And that's when this damn pamphlet come out.
We had conversations after the book came out.
He said one night of a mistake cost me whatever the fuck he said. No, that's not.
And she tried to FaceTime me. Girl, no, you're blocked. I literally have receipts that contradict everything you all said, and the truth will come out.
That was when I was, for the first time, hearing basically I'm a one-night stand. I had no idea that he also had stated that in the book.
All y'all have to do is talk to me behind the scenes before you post it.
He didn't tell you our conversation that we had. It was about an hour long. It wasn't even about you at all. It was about him and Ashli.
And she's like, yeah, but I just feel like you all made it seem like I'm a one-night stand.
Y'all released that shit. Keesha and Jeremy never mentioned her.
I said, first of all, I would never post your baby.
So guys, I really hope you enjoyed today's episode, and we're gonna have another one next week sometime or earlier, so make sure you hit the subscribe button with notifications.